Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the CivTechSA 2020 Residency Demo Day. I'm Leslie Chasnoff, the CivTechSA Program Manager here at Geekdom, and joining me tonight is Eddie Johnson. He's from the Office of Innovation, and he's kind of my co-pilot for CivTechSA.
Thanks, Leslie. Again, my name is Eddie Johnson III. I am co-manager of the CivTechSA program for the City of San Antonio. Looking forward to celebrating our residents here today.
Yes, and thank you to everyone watching and tuning in today and supporting CivTechSA and our residency program. We want to give a few special thank yous and shout outs to people who are hopefully watching with us tonight, like our past residency teams, all of the city departments and leadership from the city that has supported us. Without you guys, we wouldn't have challenges for these teams to work on. And of course, all of our ecosystem friends here at Geekdom. We have so much support from all of you entrepreneurs and those of you who act as mentors and shape this community so they can participate in programs like this with CivTech, and everyone else who's just been a part of the CivTechSA success over the past 3 years. It's pretty crazy to think about this being our third year, coming to an end, going into year 4, and all the wonderful things CivTechSA has done. So we also want to take another moment here to give a special thank you to Lynn Events. She's helped us put on this wonderful production today, as well as White Cloud. Without them, we wouldn't have this super cool video to share with all of you tonight. So for those of you who may not be familiar with CivTechSA, it's a partnership between Geekdom and the City of San Antonio's Office of Innovation. And our mission is to connect students, entrepreneurs, and the tech community to the city to take on challenges, solve civic challenges, and also grow tech talent that is civically minded. And so what we really believe is that our city is better when we're working together to solve these challenges, bring them to the community, grow awareness about what the city is facing and how we can make it better, right? It improves the quality of life for everyone here in the city. And that really starts with creating programs like this and fostering collaboration, fostering innovative problem solving, and making that connection between our local government and our citizens. So there are multiple pillars and pieces to everything that CivTechSA does. We have educational programming where we work with students in middle school, high school, at universities. We also have a lot of different entrepreneurial programming throughout the year, like our datathons, hackathons, codeathons, to get all of our entrepreneurs involved. And then we have our residency program. So this is a 16-week program that we're really excited to share with you all today who are tuning in. And so today is all about the residency. This is their demo day. And I'm gonna hand it back over to Eddie, and he's gonna tell us a little bit more about the residency program.
So every year, city departments identify specific challenges that they're facing and submit them to the residency program. We open up formal applications for startups and other businesses to apply to create new pieces of technology for city departments. These selected companies work directly with city staff for 16 weeks to build a prototype of their solutions. At the end of the 16 weeks, they showcase what they've built here at Demo Day. From there, the city has the option to contract with those vendors to fully build out the solution. It is a really unique and valuable program that lets us truly foster innovation. This year, our residency companies have done an amazing job at building solutions for the 2020 challenges. Rubicon has created a smart waste detection tool, and Red Squared has done some really extensive research and design for the prototype of a One City app for access to city services. We really feel good about what the residents have built this year and are impressed with what they've been able to accomplish in this intensive and short time frame.
Yes, this is such an exciting time. We're at the end of our 16 weeks with these residency teams, and we're really excited to show you guys everything they've been working on. So it's been a really inspiring and exciting time. We've seen them progress over the summer, and we're so excited to share that with everyone today. So before we jump into our pitch videos from our residency teams, we have a few special guests with us tonight. We have Charles Wooden, the CEO of Geekdom, and Brian Dillard, our Chief Innovation Officer at the City of San Antonio. Take it away, Charles.
So I'm Charles Wooden, CEO of Geekdom, and I also want to say Thank you, Leslie. You're the best. So Geekdom's been around for nearly 10 years now. Our goal is to help early stage entrepreneurs shape their ideas. Geekdom's here to help build San Antonio one startup at a time. And we do that by empowering tech entrepreneurs to cultivate, shape, and grow their ideas into viable businesses that are ready for the next level. CivTechSA, I think, has been one of the great partnerships that Geekdom has been able to be a part of. We created that partnership about almost 4 years ago now with the city of San Antonio, really helping out their innovation department, do what it does best, be more innovative. And we did that through helping connect to the ecosystem that Geekdom's been a part of, helping create over the past 10 years, and getting some of those early stage entrepreneurs, those startups, and educational institutions connected to what the city is doing, and getting those problems that the city's been dealing with internally for forever out into the community and introducing them to the people who are really interested in trying to fix some of these issues and to be invested in the community they live, work, and play in. So I think CivTech fits into Geekdom's mission with us being a part of that innovation hub of downtown and really helping lead the innovation. When we partner with an entity like the city and help them move forward with these great ideas, it definitely spurs more innovation outside, in and out of Geekdom. So not only does Geekdom benefit from that innovation that it's partnering with the city with, but it also brings the rest of the community a level of awareness that they may not have had before about some of the innovation that's happening in downtown, makes people more interested in being a part of it and more invested in those problems and solving them, not only with the city, but also with Geekdom, helping spur the next startups, helping keep the younger kids that are in middle school or high school that CivTechSA engages with, let them know that there is a pathway forward here in San Antonio so that they're not going to be the next talent that moves to San Francisco or Austin or New York. They stay here and they work on their idea here and they build something amazing here. That, I think, benefits us all. So I would say that the partnership with the innovation department, I think, has been so fruitful in a couple different ways. And one of those is why we're here today, is to talk about the Residency program. It's created a pathway for companies to be innovative while being partnered with city departments. So those departments have the most detailed knowledge of the issues that they deal with day in and day out. And they're able to partner with these early stage startups, these companies that have the innovation that they're looking for, and they can work together to make sure that the problem that they're solving is as spot on as it can possibly be, and the solution that the company is bringing to the department is exactly what that department needs. It's one of the best things, and I'm very happy about the Residency program. And I also think that the other partnership that CivTechSA has led to that I'm super excited about is our Incubator Program, which has allowed these really early stage ideas that aren't even companies yet a very clear pathway into becoming companies, and then eventually hopefully working with the city. So I think there's 100 other ways that partnership has paid off, but those are the two that stick out most in my mind right now. I think one of the most unique opportunities that CivTechSA partnership has brought is our ability to work with the city's partners through our Datathon program. So our Datathon program brings in all the smart city partners such as CPS, SAWS, VIA, and helps us really bring that data out into the community so that the community can come up with solutions based off of that data that benefit our community as a whole. It's a really great program. The other thing is we also host annually one startup weekend focused primarily at a CivTech or a smart city problem, and you get some of the best ideas from these really early stage points, and some of those startup weekend ideas have led to continuing projects, have led to more Datathon projects, and potentially even companies later on. So I think that those are two amazing unique qualities that the CivTechSA program brings. So a couple of my favorite things about the Residency is really seeing, when you hear the term 16 weeks, you think that's a long period of time, until you really break down how in depth these companies are going with the departments. These departments have such a detailed understanding of the problems that they're dealing with, and really having a data dump of all those issues to a company, and then seeing those companies processing those issues and turning their solution towards fixing those issues in particular is one of the most amazing things. And then again, going back to the 16 weeks, you think that's plenty of time to do it, but they are rushing every minute of it. And it's amazing to see from point one, where they're introduced to really what the problem is, to then what the solution that they come up to, or what they come up with, is one of the most amazing transformations that you can see in a 16-week period. I think that's one of the best things about the Residency program. So I'll start with talking about Red Squared, and I think about CivTechSA, and I think about how it's evolved. And what I mean by that is we're now in year 3 of CivTechSA. And the problems, if you were to take a comparison of the problems that were trying to be solved in year 1 compared to the problems we're trying to solve now in year 3, they are night and day different. And Red Square has taken on probably the biggest challenge I've seen this residency program, the CivTechSA partnership, the city bring to the table. It is a problem that covers all spans. It covers all the smart city partners. It covers all departments within the city. And the intent of it is to create one-stop place for a community member to engage with the city in several different ways. And I'm so excited that we were able to not only bring a challenge like that out there, but to have somebody rise to the challenge like Red Square is something that really excites me. And I think that they're the perfect team to do it. And I can't wait to see what they're able to come up with. And then I think for Rubicon, they're innovators in and of themselves. They've done some great innovations when it comes to solid waste management, and their willingness and ability to innovate with our city to solve the problems that our city is dealing with is one of the most exciting things. So seeing them pivot and innovate within a company that's already existed is super exciting. And to also see them come from another city and engage here in San Antonio is really exciting for me. And it's giving a pathway for this innovation to happen, and it's happening here. And I think Rubicon's going to do a great job with that. Now, I'm super excited to really see what both of these teams have in their toolbox. They came with an amazing toolbox right off from the get-go, and I know that what they've got now is going to be something even more amazing, so I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, so I'm Brian Dillard. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer for the City of San Antonio. Within the Office of Innovation, we encompass everything from digital inclusion to smart streetlights. Our job is to identify ways in which the city can be more effective, more efficient, and also take a little bit of a technological approach to doing both of those things. I think CivTechSA reflects exactly what the Office of Innovation is looking to push forward. Which is that innovative approach. It's bringing new perspectives to other departments, other agencies outside of the City of San Antonio that we partner with, and bringing new approaches to the way we provide city services. I think that's an outstanding relationship with not only Office of Innovation from CivTechSA, but also the City of San Antonio. One of our core values is actually innovation when it comes to City of San Antonio, and we like to say that we are a shining example of that. CivTechSA allows us to step outside of the realm of traditional city government, allows us to look away from budgets, look a little bit away from procurement items, and really kind of focus in on getting outside of the box. We allow thinkers from the community, entrepreneurs to come in and tell us what's wrong, and then help us find solutions for those problems for our residents. Oftentimes, cities reflect on P3 opportunities, public-private partnerships. Geekdom in the City of San Antonio have shown how that can be the most impactful while also focusing on residential needs. So identifying the problems with Geekdom, with their membership, with their leadership, and then working with them to come up with solutions for those has been very beneficial for the City of San Antonio. It's a major investment not only in solving problems for residents, but also economic development and workforce development throughout our ecosystem here in the City of San Antonio. One example of how CivTechSA has been beneficial to the City of San Antonio is actually occurring right now with our housing department. When COVID hit, we had residents that ended up running into issues with rent and mortgage payments. Our housing department ended up being a little overwhelmed with that. It was a new wave of customers that they had to serve in higher numbers than they've ever seen. One of our former residents, Kinetech, that actually came out of the residency program for CivTechSA, came in and they did a bang-up job of helping us solve these problems with the technology that they had developed within the CivTechSA residency. So that's an exciting example of how CivTechSA can impact residents' lives. One of the most amazing things about CivTechSA is how it brings folks that typically wouldn't engage with government, it brings them into the fold of municipal government, and shows them an exciting side of it. Typically, it can be kind of boring. You look at city council meetings and all this and that. You don't want to get into the politics of it. That's not all what municipal government is about. When it comes to city staff, we solve everyday problems. It's cool seeing the energy in our datathons, our ideathons, our residency programs. It's cool seeing that energy build up there and then produce into something that actually impacts residents' lives day after day. The residency piece of CivTechSA is really exciting in a unique way because not only are we coming up with solutions to problems, but we're creating companies at the same time. That really shows the economic development impact when it comes to the CivTechSA program, this partnership between Geekdom and the City of San Antonio. That excites me tremendously, not only for the City of San Antonio, but for the teams that come out of this program. What's been exciting to see out of these two teams that are coming through the CivTechSA residency program is that they're embedded into the departments that they're working with. Me as the Chief Innovation Officer, I don't have to hold their hand out here. They're developing these direct relationships with department directors, with folks that are on the ground doing the work. That's how you identify the problem. That's how you develop custom solutions to problems that residents face and that departments face. I'm really excited to see that. As we went through the applications for this year's CivTechSA residency, and we saw companies like Rubicon, like Red Squared, it was exciting to see these folks that had these ideas that we hadn't even thought of. These problems that they identified on their own that we didn't know existed. That's another level to this, the City of San Antonio being humble enough to say, hey, we don't know everything. So as we saw those candidates come in, those applications come in, it was really exciting to see this new perspective and this energy brought into the room by these teams. So I'm excited to see what comes out of this residency this year. I'm excited to see these two teams become very productive with what they've created.
Thank you so much, Charles and Brian. It's always so great to hear about the strength, the potential, the progress that this partnership has brought to San Antonio, to our residents, to our tech community, and beyond. It's growing all the time. We're doing so many wonderful things together. And now we'll get to the meat of our event today, the pitches from our 2020 residency teams. So our first company took on the challenge with our city's solid waste management department. And wow, I learned so much about the incredible work that our solid waste management department does. I never knew there was so much going on behind the scenes to getting our trash, our recycling, the composting bins, the green bins, all of it taken care of. It's wonderful work that they're doing, and we're really excited to hear about this super cool technology that Rubicon has built with our solid waste management team. So here to introduce the residency company, Rubicon, is Nick Gallus, and he is the Assistant Director for our city's solid waste management department.
Hi, I'm Nick Gallus. I'm the Assistant Director for Solid Waste with the City of San Antonio. So I oversee collections on the east side of San Antonio. I also oversee the safety division as well as some of our technology and innovation stuff. And so my team tries to find ways of doing things better, more efficiently. And safety is also an integral piece of everything that we do. So anytime we could leverage technology to be safer, then I'm all for it. So the solid waste department services primarily the residential homes within the City of San Antonio city limits. We service 360,000 homes for garbage, recycle, organics. And so every week we have a truck coming by to pick up that green cart, a truck coming by to pick up the blue cart, and then a truck coming by to pick up the brown cart. So there's just a lot of opportunities for things to happen, things to make more our drivers more aware, more safer. So we're always taking a look at those opportunities to see if we could take technology and make their lives a lot easier. One of the things that we do face on a daily basis is just the challenges that we have with recycling. Right now with the pandemic, one of the challenges that we've seen is there's a lot more residents that are home, so that means there's a lot more material that we're picking up, which also translates to more opportunities for residents to make mistakes. And so we want to make sure that our residents are participating in the programs correctly, and that's one of the challenges that we submitted for the CivTech. And fortunately we've had the opportunity to work with Rubicon to try to come up with a solution to address that challenge. So the challenge that we submitted through the CivTech program is for contamination detection. One of the challenges that the City of San Antonio has been faced with, along with many other municipalities and throughout the world, essentially the challenge has been the quality of recycling needs to be better. And so we've implemented a variety of different programs, and one of the programs that we implemented was our organics drivers were to document manually whenever they noticed in their monitor inside the cab of the truck when they noticed that there was contaminants. Let's say they're servicing a container and they see a bunch of plastic bags. Well, plastic bags are not compostable. If they see construction debris, that's not something that we want to see in the green cart. And so they'll document that on a driver log. And then what we'll do is we'll take that information at the end of the day, and we have some administrative staff that keys that in manually. And then from there, we sent out a letter, a courtesy reminder saying that, hey, we noticed the last time when we serviced your container, there was some material in there that didn't belong. These are some of the common mistakes. In the future, if we could try to correct that behavior, it would be great for the success of the program and so on and so forth. And so we've been doing that for the past year, but obviously that is a very manually intensive program. So ideally, we leverage technology to do that same process, but to do it so that our drivers could focus more on driving and collecting and not necessarily have to worry about the contamination, have to worry about documenting an address that they saw something that didn't belong. Let's use the technology that will do all that for our driver. And so the solution that we've been working on with Rubicon is to leverage artificial intelligence, so that way we have a camera inside the hopper of the truck, which is basically the area that gets the contents of the cart. And so as the cart is being emptied into that hopper, the camera, the AI will detect or try to recognize things that don't belong. And then using GPS, it'll geo-validate that location, so that way all that information is captured at the point of collection. The driver doesn't have to do anything other than focus on their task at hand, which is servicing the carts in a safe and efficient manner, and then moving on to the next address. And so with this technology, all that information is going to get captured, and then we're able to automate and send out the letters automatically. So one of the big pain points for us with regards to contamination, it costs the city more money. We want the program to be successful. In order for the program to be successful, the correct material needs to be placed into the blue and the green carts. Whenever something that doesn't belong is placed in those carts, essentially we're having to double handle it. Not only we have to sort it out, but then we have to go and dispose of it at the landfill. So our preference is, if you're not sure, just put it into the brown cart, the garbage. Don't take a gamble, because at the end of the day, if you put it into the green cart and we have to have somebody manually pick that out, or at the recycling facility, it's going to end up costing more money. And so that's one of our big pain points, and we want to be able to find a way to reduce that, so that way it saves the city of San Antonio money, saves our residents money, and we will keep our rates low. So one of the things that the city of San Antonio has established is a recycling goal of 60% by the year 2025. And so one of the issues with contamination, for instance, let's take organics. If there's too much contaminants in that truck, that whole load gets rejected. And so now the effort of all these other residents that did it right is canceled out because a handful of folks did it wrong. And so we want to be able to recognize where we're having those issues, have this technology capture that information so we could work with those residents, get them on board, have them participate in the program correctly, and then that way it'll make the program successful, make everybody's lives a lot easier. So one of the highlights working with Rubicon is the fact that they are working with us hand in hand to develop a solution for this challenge, a challenge that is faced with all the other municipalities that have recycling programs, and being able to work with them hand in hand to custom build, not get something off the shelf and try to literally they're custom building it, so that way it'll address the issue at hand, and then hopefully make our drivers' lives a lot easier and make our program more successful. We're really excited. One of the things that we're looking forward to is being able to leverage technology in a variety of other capacities as well. Safety is one of our top priorities, and so anytime we see the opportunity to make our drivers' jobs easier, we're 100% on board. And with the CivTech program, it has been a platform for us to be able to communicate these challenges and to be able to network with different vendors that have the expertise to be able to develop a solution. And so I think we're real excited about this opportunity that we have today, but also in future opportunities, because we have multiple different challenges, and so we'll definitely continue to participate in CivTech, and we look forward to being a participant in years to come.
For those who don't know, Rubicon is a little bit of a different technology company. We are a B Corp, a certified benefit corp. And what that basically means is we are as committed to environmental or social cause as we are to the bottom line. Given that we are in the waste space, our mission, our cause is to quite simply end waste. The alignment between Rubicon and the city of San Antonio with this idea behind a contamination detection tool couldn't be clearer. And so we were obviously incredibly excited and honored to have the opportunity to participate. Over the last 3 years, we've had an opportunity to work with over 50 different cities across the country. And our solutions are designed to help address operational efficiencies as well as sustainable efficiencies, and really looking to uncover taxpayer savings. Those are the two core. And then, this next generation of technology that in part we're working with the city on, the city of San Antonio on, is what we call Rubicon Vision. This is a high definition camera that works together with a very high-tech computer that operates on the edge. What these two devices do together, they act as one main device, right? But there's two components working together to identify some of these exceptions or some things in the field automatically without requiring the interaction of the driver. That's what we have in place in San Antonio. They have the Rubicon Vision device. The computer in conjunction with the camera. The camera is installed in the hopper, looking down into where the contents are deposited. So the camera's focused on what's coming into the hopper, and that computer's being told to look for very specific things, right? So we're in 8 solid waste vehicles in the city of San Antonio. Those vehicles run organic routes, and the city wants to know when there are not organic contents going into that hopper. And so these devices are looking for things like plastic bags, plastic bottles, glass bottles, even things like styrofoam or pizza boxes even. It's doing all of that without requiring the driver to do anything at all other than just to drive his daily route. So one of the things that really makes Rubicon Vision and a piece of technology that's installed in these 8 vehicles in San Antonio is it's not a video recorder. It's not streaming video for the city to have to go back in, filter through and identify these things themselves. Those are common, those are around, those exist, and they have a purpose. But for the purpose of identifying very specific things in a community, like contamination in the waste stream, you need something that's a little bit more accurate, a little bit more precise in terms of what it's trying to do. And so that's where this idea of edge computing comes into play that I mentioned earlier. The city's not being inundated with tens of thousands of images throughout an entire route every day, because these routes are 6, 7, 8 hours long. If you just imagine how many pictures that is taking on a daily basis with about 1,500 to 2,000 stops on a route. We really only want to be giving the city the data they're concerned about, the data they want. Where is the contamination? Where is it located? What type of contamination was it? And so that's what this device is being built to do. Just gives the city that data. Give them the contamination type, give them the location, and don't ask the driver to do anything other than what he's already been asked to do, which is drive his route. San Antonio and many cities that are leaders like them have this idea, have this goal, much like Rubicon's mission of ending waste. They have a goal to zero waste. If this can be a piece to that puzzle, that's what we're looking to solve here. There's obvious, this is a real world problem that we're getting to get hands-on with and provide a solution for. So thank you to everyone, and thank you to the City of San Antonio, and we're really excited to share this with everyone.
The role of the garbage truck, the lowly garbage truck, is evolving in our mind from simply being a vehicle that picks up waste or recycling into a roaming data collection center. And what do I mean by that? There are certain fleets in city governments, and garbage trucks are the best example, that follow a fixed route. They go down the same streets at least once a week, and they go into every community within a city, regardless of income level, regardless of topography. The waste truck doesn't discriminate. And as that truck's going about doing its daily routine of picking up the trash, it could also be looking for proverbial broken windows and literal broken windows in a community. What are the signs in a community that there are problems on the horizon? Potentially a pothole, a broken window, an abandoned home, a broken curb cut. With Rubicon's technology, we're helping to transform these waste vehicles into not only waste vehicles, but roaming data collection centers.
Every sanitation department that I've spoken to, every city government that's focused on picking up the trash on time is facing budget cuts, they're facing limited resources, and they're trying to figure out a way to do more with less. The key to doing more with less doing more with less is just is a measure of productivity. The key to increasing productivity is technology. So how can city governments adopt the right technology that's going to allow them to deliver a very high quality service at the least possible cost? That is the type of technology that cities should be focusing on. That is where they should be investing their resources. And that's where Rubicon's technology can help.
I think partnering with technology companies and other third parties that have innovative solutions is a great way to make the most out of what you already have, your fleet of vehicles, your great cohort of public workers, and you can enhance their job and really create great quality of life benefits for the communities you serve.
All right. Great job, Rubicon. And thank you, Nick, for a great introduction. I work on a variety of projects in my role with the Office of Innovation, and these solutions like this technology is top-notch.
Absolutely, Eddie. I can totally picture a day where we have smart technology like this in our homes, like helping us sort all of our things. It's so cool to think about how this tech is progressing and how much better it's making our lives. So our next residency company is Red Squared, and they took on the enormous challenge of building one app or prototype for one app where us residents could do all the things we needed to with the city, which is such a crazy idea, but a really, really wonderful future for us, right? So we're really excited to have you meet our Red Square team. And introducing them today is Craig Hopkins, and he's the Chief Information Officer for the City of San Antonio.
My name is Craig Hopkins. I'm the Chief Information Officer for the City of San Antonio. So the Chief Information Officer in the City of San Antonio is really a strategic position to help integrate IT out into the 42 departments across the city. So I have a really strong technical team that can solve just about any problem we need in the city, and my job is to make sure that we have a strong strategic relationship where we can help them serve our residents and serve the employees. The challenge is really about thinking from the outside in instead of the inside out. And traditionally, many organizations think about the services they provide, the resources they have, the processes they use in order to serve their customer. And we get constrained by resources, people, money, so forth, and we do the best we can with that. And over time, we try to improve, but we really never take the opportunity to say, how would I rethink the delivery to my customer? So this challenge is about ignoring that and starting from a fresh plate from outside in, and now trying to understand from a persona of a resident what's important to them. And what we typically find when we ask those kind of questions is they don't know the difference between CPS, SAWS, the City of San Antonio. They don't know who actually pays their garbage bill or their water bill at times, or who to call when they have a question about a permit or housing or whatever it may be. And so when we start to think about it from the outside in, we actually redesign our services based on that persona and their needs and their events. So the intent of this challenge is to strip away all that legacy thinking and start fresh from the outside in and see where residents want us to be in front of them. So I think what's very inspiring to me about this challenge is that we believe in doing what's right for the resident. Now, a resident could be someone new to San Antonio. And so where do I live? Where do I get my services? How do I turn things on? They could be a visitor. They could be somebody who's here for a short period of time, and we want them to have a great experience in our city. They could be people who are just trying to do their job every day and find a better way to get back and forth to work or make their lives better. Clearly, in our current situation, with the school situations of people having to do distance learning, it's changing what I do in my life, and they're reaching back out for help. Who can help me in that situation? So what I'm so passionate about this is about rethinking service delivery from the customer or resident's perspective. And when we can bring that to the table and we can show, even in a simple prototype, what's important to the customer, it allows us to change the culture of our organization and be enlightened and empathetic of what our residents are trying to do. And it makes us think about how do we change our services to better meet their needs. It will not be rolled out tomorrow. as the IT guy, let's make it really clear. You know, I think the biggest impact to residents when this goes out is they will know that we're listening to them. So it may take us a while to build it. It may be very difficult or even impossible in some cases to build exactly what they're thinking their needs are. But we all know that as customers ourselves, we don't always know what we want. But when we're in a situation, we know we want to solve that situation. So I think it's going to take us a while to experience this with them. But I think the greatest return is going to be building trust in government. Everything we do here in San Antonio from a government agency perspective is to help people in their lives and build their trust in government. And so nothing builds trust than understanding a customer's needs, having empathy for their situation, and doing what you can do to make their life better. So one of the things I really love about the CivTech program overall, this is just one component of it that we're doing, is getting members of the community involved in solving problems in our city. So often, we as leaders in our organizations take it upon us that we have to solve everything ourselves. And then we're constrained, we can only do so much and only have so much understanding of the problem in some cases. So what is really exciting about this program is taking these problems that we understand and putting them back out into the community and asking people their perspective, how to solve the problems. And what I typically learn is their understanding of the problem usually turns out to be different than my understanding of the problem. And so that's why we start to think of them as challenges, because we can see the challenge, but somebody else will better understand the problem, and then they can propose better ways to solve the problem than we may have done that. And it gets people involved, and it gets people to be a way to give back and serve in their communities in an area that they're passionate about serving. So we knew this one was going to be a little different with bringing Red Squared on this problem, because it wasn't just show us your technology and we'll see if we like it or not, right? This bigger challenge was really about understanding customers and setting a strategic path. But ultimately, we need to prove that we could actually implement something along the way. So Red Squared is a fantastic group who really gets this thought of customer-centric design and understanding the anthropology of people and understanding empathy and compassion, and then putting it actually to the test of having people come in and be part of that process as they go, not just fill out a survey or those types of things, actively being engaged in the design. So I'm very excited to work with a firm like Red Squared who thinks that way first before the IT guys get their hands on it and just start building things, right? So it makes us really think of our hypothesis and our solution to the hypothesis, and then test it with the residents before we ever start to write any code or build anything down the path. So being design-centric, first of all, teaches us in the city new techniques that we can use, and it opens our minds at the same time. So I'd just like to thank Red Squared for participating. We all know this is not a way to make money, right? This is a way to get involved in helping solve city problems. And it gives them an opportunity to experience and learn in a different environment that maybe they haven't been in before. But I do hope that this becomes a long-standing relationship that we can use, which is really the intent of these programs, to see what we can build off of as we go forward. So thank them for the dedication and the time and being part of the program.
I'm Zhenya Espy. I'm a co-founder and the chief design thinker of Red Squared Consulting. Our company was founded in 2014, and we're a women-owned business. We're very proud of it.
Red Squared Consulting is a company committed to designing user-centric solutions to problems. So we figure out what is it that the users actually want and need from financial services, from experiences, from any type of product. And then we put those insights into action in the design process so that we know in the end that we've truly been faithful to what users want. This process and this solution is not about what David, Tara, and Zhenya think would be a good One City app, The real crux of our approach is to understand through research what it is that residents want and need from the city.
So a few criteria really spoke to us with regards to this challenge. And I think that we saw city government and the city services as being something that is maybe a little fragmented, a little intimidating from a user perspective and from a resident perspective to engage. And what we found was there's a very transactional push-pull relationship between the residents here in San Antonio and city government. They typically don't engage city government on a regular basis, but when they do, it's because they need something. Or it's because the city government has interacted with them, whether it's a parking fine or it's a permit that someone needs to seek for an improvement on their house, or even a permit for their business.
Our research process has 3 distinct phases. We began by conducting extensive stakeholder interviews with various different stakeholders in the city, as well as community leaders. And the purpose of those interviews was not only to understand what is the city doing now, what kinds of deeds do they already know about, what kind of data do they have. We were just like sponges trying to absorb all the wisdom and expertise that the city already had. San Antonio Youth, St. Vincent de Paul, Prospera, a local housing group, San Antonio 2020, Haven from Hope. What we learned from those various different constituents was an understanding of, for the most vulnerable residents in San Antonio, what are their needs? What are their stories? What do we need to understand about their circumstances? And that surfaced some very interesting insights. One thing we learned is that many people, although they might not have access to an actual physical computer, have access to a smartphone, but it's not a very technologically sophisticated smartphone. So when we're thinking about designing and thinking about equity, we need to make sure that this is accessible to a wide variety of phones, not just the latest model with the heavy graphics. Our IRIS partners bring so much expertise. They've worked with the city. They've designed a truly innovative 311 SA app. And I'll be honest with you, I'm an anthropologist and they didn't teach me a lot about technology in school. So I can bring the insights to the table, but the IRIS team is really there to say, hey, what about this technology? Maybe we could do this. And so they've been an ongoing source of inspiration, and without their help, this just would not be possible.
In collaboration with Red Square Design, we created the One City app. The One City app uses 4 blocks to make the app built around the user. So what we did is we have a personalized experience, a AI-powered chatbot, and application that learns from the context of the conversation, and then based on that can make location-based recommendations so that you can find the resources that are important to you as a user based on where you are and the type of experience that you are signing on for the application.
We're really excited about the way we've organized our offerings on the One City app. They're research inspired. It's using the CARE model, which is complying, accessing, reporting, and engaging. This was all determined and derived by real resident and stakeholder feedback, and we offer relevant, helpful, and contextual-based suggestions. I'd like to introduce you to Sammy Antonio. He is an AI-powered chatbot that will engage the user, this particular chatbot, by asking pointed questions for more information, and Sammy Antonio will be happy to assist them in finding the correct resource and service that they might be requesting. And so through the Explore My San Antonio feature, we hope to capture all of the things that would enrich someone else's life and allow them to participate in city activities, connect with others, and help to foster that sense of community, but through the application. And I have options that have been crafted in collaboration with social service agency leaders and stakeholders that have informed us on the best way to put verbiage here for the options for the residents. So if I am experiencing homelessness and I'd like to find affordable housing, I can do so. And immediately I'm going to get redirected to the City of San Antonio Affordable Housing website Whether you're moving from out of state or you simply want to avoid the lines and renew your driver's license, the user can now seamlessly connect to the Department of Public Safety and select Texas driver's license. And we leverage the recent technology of being able to use the camera and use OCR, or optical character recognition, so the user can actually just use the camera on their smart device, on their mobile phone or tablet, and be able to capture their existing driver's license. When they click snap the picture here, there'll be a validation screen, and then the user can confirm that the information is accurate upon doing so or making any necessary changes. When they advance, now we can take them to final payment. With the payment category, now we can either manually enter our credit card, debit card, or use PayPal. And upon entering that information, now I can submit payment.
The impact for the city will be that this will help build trust. We all know that we're living in a time where, unfortunately, trust of governmental institutions is not as high as it has been in the past. And we are hoping that with this app, by the city making an effort to really bring something to the residents that was driven by the resident perspective and really responding to residents' needs, that this will help build some of that, rebuild some of that fabric. From the city's perspective, obviously that trust is very important, but it will also enhance compliance, and it will help the city make sure that the resources that are out there are being used properly. For residents, we hope that this will increase their engagement with the city. We hope that it will make them really take the message to heart that the city wants to help them out. And we hope in some of the most critical cases, that one of which we're going to demonstrate in the prototype, that this could really be a lifeline for some of our most vulnerable residents.
We feel that we're uniquely qualified because we have anthropologists on the team, we have designers on the team, and we have former business strategists on the team. This unique blend of experience and expertise puts us in a very advantageous position to do a phenomenal job for this challenge.
All right, amazing job, Red Squared. Having a team full of anthropologists, which they do, made this a really interesting experience, getting to see them work through all of the interviews with stakeholders and interviews with residents, their design sprints, the prototyping. It was super duper fascinating to see their processes and all the work that went into building out this prototype. And we're also really excited that another local company got to work with Red Squared, Iris. They're doing some amazing things for civic technology, and they've been helping out the city of San Antonio with some really awesome tech, like the 311 app, which is super cool. So if you haven't used that, you should check it out too. Well, that just about wraps it up for this evening. Congratulations to our 2020 residency teams. You did an amazing job. We're so excited about all the work you've done and super proud to have you as part of our program. Thank you again to all of our city departments and leadership. Thank you to Geekdom. Thank you to the Office of Innovation. Thank you to Jalen. Thank you to White Cloud. Thank you to everyone watching and supporting us tonight. We can't do anything with CivTech without all of you involved.
It was definitely cool to see them work through the process, and I enjoyed connecting them with so many different people across the city.
So before you go, we want to encourage you to check out our CivTechSA website and stay in touch, and also stay in touch with Rubicon and Red Squared to see how their projects are progressing. So visit our website at civtech-sa.com and follow us on social media at CivTechSA. And you can hear more about what these residency teams are going to be up to, and stay in touch as we go through our Year 4 programming. I'm looking at you, entrepreneurs. I'm looking at you, city staff. Anyone who wants to submit challenges or tackle these challenges, we want you to stay in touch and be involved. Thank you again for being here with us tonight, and I'm really excited to see what comes next from these teams.
So I have a call for action for all you entrepreneurs and city staff out there to be ready to bring all new challenges and solutions for next year's residency program. Thanks, everybody.